3 days before Dad passed away, as I walked out of the doctor's cabin, tears in my eyes, crying, my grandmom held me before she wiped my tears and said, Pinali, you know you can't cry, right? Because your mom is going to need you when she becomes inconsolable when she hears this. And your sister's too young for such a grief, and so she was. And I remember wiping my tears only to find them 6 months after my dad passed away. But this video is not about that incident. This video is what it took to become that person who could fix everything, hold everybody, and what was the price she paid. If you were one of those high achievers, that lion or the lioness of the family who could do anything and everything, hold anybody and everybody, support everything, who people could rely on, then stay. Because there'll be a lot that you will relate to. Sitting with myself recently, I was trying to figure out what is it that I loved doing. Because all my life, all I did was what I could do or what was supposed to be done. And I was doing all of this with equal amount of passion and perfection. And so the answer to what did I love doing was a blank face. And that's when I thought, maybe let me just go back and see what is it that I loved doing as a child, or what is it that I wanted to do as a child but couldn't do because I was busy doing things that I should have done. Again, I was blank. Because the earliest memory I have of mine is from when I was 2.5, 3 years, reciting a mental list of the should do's and the should not do's to be a good girl. And that irked me a little. Why was that little child trying to mentally recite a list of must do's and should not do's? What was she chasing after all? An approval? Well, I won't deny it was an approval, but indirectly she was chasing something harsher, something that she would realize was only an illusion. She was chasing a life that was so complete, so flawless, and so devoid of loopholes that she and her life became completely unquestionable. And it breaks my heart to tell that little girl that it didn't work. Because that's never how life works. The questions never stop, they only change shape and form. And so after Dad passed away, as I couldn't cry for 6 months and I was busy managing things that needed me to be present practically and with a thinking mind, the questions that came to me were, oh, do you not have emotions? Oh yeah, you might be very practical and not emotional, isn't it? Or maybe actually you didn't love your dad enough, that's why you didn't cry, isn't it? If anything, the questions only became brutal. And the cruelest thing in all of this is that the people who didn't know me obviously didn't know me, and the people who claimed to know me also didn't know me. And if by magic today the teddy bears were to be brought to life, they would know me more than anybody else in the world ever has. And add to that the fact that even I don't know what I love to do or what she loved to do. And that was the price she paid in pursuit of a life that was but an illusion. I don't remember the first instance that made the little girl resolve to build a life that made her the goodest girl. But I do know that she did it to protect me, so that I did not feel the hurt she once felt. At this point, I want to go back, hold her, and build a wall around her, not to cut off the world, but to build a boundary where I could drop the questions that might hurt her, so that she can just be. Just dance, watch the sunrise and the sunset, watch the waves crash onto her feet, build sandcastles, play with dogs and cats, laugh with nature, cry for no reason, and just be. And maybe have the childhood that she never had, the one she gave up, protect me. I still don't have that one thing that I love or she loved. I'm still in the process of figuring that out, but maybe the first step to finding that would be to hold that little girl, make her feel safe, and tell her that she can just be.